Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to all the participants who have joined us for today's Research Capacity Development Unit, University of Johannesburg workshop on building a strong online presence. My name is Dr. Gabriel Monyera, and I'm from the Research Capacity Development Unit Postgraduate School, and I'll be the one moderating the workshop for today, and I'll also be co-facilitating the workshop with my colleague, Mr. Lawrence Asani. By just a show of virtual thumb, kindly indicate that you can hear me well and you can see this video that I've shared with you. Thank you so much. I see some gestures from some of the participants indicating that they can hear me well and they can see the slides that I've shared with you. Let me just maybe before I move on with the introducing the first part of this the segment of this workshop. I just want to remind you that this session is being recorded, and just thanking you all once again for joining us. And why are we gathering for such an important topic where we have to talk about building a strong online presence? So this has become one of those realities that sort of increasingly important in academics, both academics and research. And for those who were with us yesterday, I'm alluding to what I said yesterday again today, that having an online presence, it's not an option anymore, but it's actually now essential for enhancing the visibility, credibility, and impact in academia and research by making your work accessible to a wider audience. So I think these are some of the insights that Mr. Hassan and myself will be sharing with you as we continue with the presentation or facilitation of this session. So before I introduce Mr. Hassan to you, just going over his bio, I just want to go over some housekeeping rules. If you have any questions during the course of the presentation, please feel free to raise your virtual hand, and I will bring it to the attention of Mr. Hassan or either myself. Will answer the question. Alternatively, you can just type your question in the chat box. Then I'll bring it to the attention of both of us, and we can address the question. So if you have a question that is burning through the course of the presentation, you can kindly raise your hand. Then we just unmute you. You can ask your question, and we answer it. But also at the end of the presentation, we'll engage in an open discussion segment where questions can be answered, contributions can also be made, experiences can be shared. And like I've said, the session is being recorded, and both the presentation slides and the session recording will be uploaded on our Moodle communities in about 3 to 5 working days. And I also post a feedback survey during the course of the presentation in the chat box. I kindly ask you to fill this out for us to gain insights on how useful this workshop has been, and also for us, just possibly some feedback on the facilitation itself, as well as if there's any other possibly workshops that you would want us to address in future. So you kindly include such topics, then we will use it for our planning purpose. And this is also the way in which you can receive the certificate of attending this workshop, because we only provide certificates to those that who have provided their details in the feedback survey. So I kindly ask you to fill this out. And we also launched the Research Capacity Development Management System in April this year, and we are gradually migrating to this new system. So for those who don't know about the RCDMS, it is a system that we are using to streamline your research journey and also our planning, from our side. So this is where you can register for workshops, research writing consultations, and stay updated of all the events and services that the research capacity development offers all in one place. And hence we have labeled it as a one-stop access for all our events and services. So register to utilize this system. You can access the system through ULink under the services tab or by visiting rcdms.uj.ac.za. And allow me now to introduce Mr. Lawrence Asani by reading over his bio. Mr. Asani is a dedicated and dynamic professional with a master's degree in public management, governance, and public policy. He also holds a BA honors in public management and governance with cum laude, and a BA honors and a BA in humanities from the University of Johannesburg. Mr. Asani is currently a member of the Research Capacity Development Unit at the Postgraduate School, University of Johannesburg, where he contributes to advancing research excellence. He served as a PA mentor and academic tutor in the School of Public Management, Governance, and Public Policy, and has experience as an event organizer in Doha, Qatar, with extensive expertise in strategic planning, academic mentoring, academic administration, research, and event coordination. Mr. Asani is committed to supporting educational institutions in maintaining high standards of academic integrity and student achievement. He is experienced in assessment and evaluation, ensuring quality, accessibility, and compliance with institutional and regulatory frameworks. His research interests include good governance, economic development, economic development and growth, governance indicators, and African diplomacy, positioning him as a valuable contributor to contemporary policy and governance discourse. Myself, I hold a PhD in Economic and Management Sciences with International Trade from the Northwest University, and I'm currently enrolled for postgraduate diploma in research supervision at the University of Johannesburg. I have over a decade of teaching experience and a strong publication record. I've co-authored book chapters and a number of articles in top-tier accredited peer-reviewed journals. I also actively reviews for reputable journals, and yes, I've received multiple awards for academic excellence during the course of my honors, masters, and PhD studies. I also I'm currently serving as a research capacity development specialist at the University of Johannesburg Postgraduate School, and also completed my postdoctoral research fellowship this year. And I support postgraduate students and researchers in academic writing and publication. My research interests, they include trade policy, export promotion, globalization, foreign direct investment, regional integration in Africa, and market accessibility measurement, and for IR-related, trade-related research, right? So having introduced myself, having introduced our main facilitator, Mr. Lawrence Asani, I'm now handing over to him. He will be now the one leading us, with the facilitations of the first part of this workshop, and then I will take over at the later stage. Mr. Asani, thank you so much for agreeing to facilitate the session for today, and also for your time and effort that you have put into the planning. That goes into in terms of the facilitations that we do, and we look forward to the insights that you are going to share with us on this important topic. And having introduced you, I'm now handing over to you slides, and you can share your slides and lead us into this session from here going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gabriel, for such a warm welcome. And thank you so much to all the participants for joining such an important topic on building a strong online presence. Can you just please show with a virtual thumb if you can all hear me before I can proceed? And if you can see my slides as well. Can you see my slides, Dr. Gabriel?
Yes, Lawrence, I can see them. They are also in presenter mode.
Well, they are in presenter mode. Okay, perfect. Okay, good morning again to you all, and thank you so much again for giving me this opportunity to present on such an important topic, building a strong online presence. Yes, just moving on there. So obviously building a strong online presence, that the theme of this workshop was rather developing your researcher identity. So basically, for you to have a strong online presence, this is basically also developing your researcher identity, because in research you also need to have an identity. You also need to know, you also need to be visible within the academic space. So I'll just be sharing, that's me there, that's my pictures, that's my picture, my recent picture. I just graduated I graduated from my master's. Then moving on to the outline of the workshop. So we'll be having an introduction, and I will introduce some of the key terms for strong online presence. And I will also do a comparison of a personal brand and my personal brand as an academic, and I will also have an academic brand versus my academic brand. And these are some of the things that you also need to think about: a personal brand versus your personal brand, an academic brand versus your academic brand. So these are some of the things that we will discuss, some of the things sort of like a food of thought. So just in as we go in, just think of what is your personal brand as a person and what is your academic brand as a person. Then from there, we'll move on. Why have an online presence? Why does it matter to have an online presence? Then also moving forward to establishing a professional identity. 1.7 will be engaging with academic community. Then from there, Dr. Gabriel will take us over networking, collaboration, credibility, professionalism, tips for continuous learning, some of the references and resources that we will be sharing with you. And then from there, we'll move on to conclusion, some codes, as well as moving on to the open discussion session. So just a food of thought. So I just created sort of like a food of thought on the first slide. So you just need to think as yourself, what social media platforms are you available on? So just based on this social media platforms that I've posted, maybe I might have missed some, but just think as a person, as an academic, what are some of the social media platforms that you're on, and are you really present on those social media platforms, and do you really engage with your peers as well on those social media platforms? And as an academic, what are you known for? You need to also think of that. What are you known for as an academic? You're in the academic space. Some of us, myself, I'm just an emerging academic. So you need to understand what are some of the things that you are known for. What are some of the things that you want to be known for if you are still emerging as an academic? Then moving forward there, then I just shared a picture of my sort of like my LinkedIn. So this is my LinkedIn. So this is some of the things that we'll be discussing: having a professional LinkedIn picture, a verified LinkedIn, your position where you work, your affiliation, the universities, the link as well as where you work. So these are some of the important issues that you need for you to have a strong online presence. You need to have a platform, as I've mentioned, social media platform, whether it be LinkedIn, whether it be Facebook, whether it be X, whether it be Google Scholar, whether it be ResearchGate. But all these platforms, are you there and are you present? And is your profile really professional, that if somebody sees it, they would want to collaborate with you? That if somebody sees it, they'll say, oh, what a profile. Oh, this is such a beautiful profile. Because the most important thing is just putting your work out there, or putting your personal information out there. It needs to represent who you are. So these are some of the things that we'll discuss within the workshop: having professional pictures, your affiliation with the universities or whatever institutions you're affiliated with, your position, and all those other things. So moving forward, so we'll just have like a brief introduction, just some of the pointers of, why build a strong online presence. Why do you need a strong online presence? Because in today's academic world, research no longer lives only in libraries or behind journals or any paywalls. So we also need to know that it's increasingly circulating online. most of research is circulating online, and it needs to circulate where it's also accessible by other academics, by other students, by other practitioners, or any other shareholders. They need to also to access your research and to know what you are on about, what do you do, so that when people approach you and when they want to collaborate, they will know what field you are in and what are some of the things that they can engage with you. So I would just be sharing some of the, sort of like an introduction with some of the pointers. As you can see there on my slides, where it says research is increasingly digital and global. As I've mentioned, that research is circulating more online. So our research outputs are now part of the global digital ecosystem. So our research goes beyond journals. It goes beyond just South Africa. When you share your research, it's also accessible throughout the world, through other institutions around the world, through other institutions within South Africa and within the beyond the world. And also your online presence extends, it reaches beyond journal. So central platforms such as Google Scholar, ResearchGate, and even LinkedIn now serves as a vital channel for showcasing your work. So you need to ensure that you are on these platforms and you are present, because some of these platforms, these are platforms where also employers also go there and engage and see, what are some of the engaging researchers that we can get on some such platforms. So while that remains central platforms such as Google Scholar, ResearchGate, it now serves as vital channel for showcasing your work. So you need to ensure that you are on these platforms in order to showcase your work, to enhance visibility, collaboration, and impact. So an online presence doesn't just make your work visible, it opens doors for collaboration. So it's important that when your work is visible, people will want to collaborate with you because they'll feel that, oh, this person is in my field and is an expert in such thing. So it also increases visibility, collaboration, and impact. It also builds professional reputation and credibility. Building a strong online profile is about reputation management, because if you have a strong online presence, this basically builds your reputation. It builds your reputation because it's in a world where people can see it, people can view it. And once they reach and they see what you are all about as an academic or as a person in general, then that builds your reputation, that makes your profile strong. And also by just ensuring that you always update and you always build, this also ensures that you have that visibility, you have that it enhances your visibility, and your reputation only grows from there as an academic. Moving forward to some of the key terms. So these are some of the key terms that we will be discussing, key terms in building an online presence. These are important because when you speak of digital footprints, this refers to a trace of information you leave online, your profiles, your publication, your social media, and interactions. As an academic, our digital footprints reflect our professional image. So it's important to keep it accurate and professional. And moving forward to professional identity, your professional identity is how you present yourself online, e.g., your name, your photo, your bio, your academic role. Just as you saw with my LinkedIn profile that I've posted. I've shown you on that picture. There is my name there. You can see my full name. There is a picture. There is also a short bio which indicates what position or what institution I am affiliated with. So basically, this is a professional identity that you will be having as an individual. And also it makes research visible. When you speak of research visibility, is how about easily others can find you, read and cite your work. So we need to ensure that you are visible. You are visible so that people can easily access your work. They can easily cite your work and easily find what are some of the areas that you are an expert in. Because if they can easily find these areas, then people will be able to read, then people will be able to find your work, and people will want to cite your work. So moving forward to academic networking. So we need to network as academics. So networking is no longer limited to conferences. So most of the people just believe that, we need to go to conferences and for us to be able to reach out to more academics, or to reach out to the broader academic world for collaboration. So online platform let researchers connect globally and collaborate across disciplines. I mentioned in the beginning that if you have a strong online presence, even if people from other countries, they will want to collaborate with you because they see you have an online presence. They see what you're about. You have shared some of your research areas and what you are on about. So this will bring collaboration across disciplines as well. Excuse me. Speaking of credibility, credibility is about trust. Sharing accurate, thoughtful, and professional content ensures that you are seen as a reliable voice within your field. Sometimes it's not just within your field, it can be within the broader field because some people from other field, they see your work and they will want to collaborate and say, okay, you are from the science field. Okay, let's do something. We are from the humanities field. You are from the science field. This also brings it back to networking, to collaboration. So you need to ensure that you're sharing accurate, thoughtful, and professional content because this ensures that you have a reliable voice. People can rely on you within your field. So going forward to a personal brand. So I've basically branded it to defining what a personal brand is, and I have put up my personal brand. So as an individual, all of us here within this workshop, you need to also think what is your personal brand. As I've mentioned in the beginning, you need to understand what a personal brand is first. Then you need to know what your personal brand is as a person. So as you can see, the definition said a personal brand is a strategic and intentional process of defining and creating and communicating a unique and consistent public perception or reputation of yourself. So your brand needs to be intentional. It needs to show that you're creating, you're communicating to people, to the public perception. It builds a reputation of yourself. It's how you present your values, your skills, your experiences, and your core values to others in a way that differentiates you from others and builds trust or credibility within your audiences or followers. So how you present your values, your skills, your experiences, your core values, it builds trust and credible towards your audience or your followers, because this shows that your personal brand, it is a value, it is a core value within you, and people will only build trust when they see that, oh, this person is actually credible. So it builds trust or credibility with your audience or followers. So I've sort of like crafted my personal brand of what I think my personal brand is, what my personal brand is. So as I stated that you also need to think as you are in this workshop now, think of what is your personal brand as a person? What are you? What do you bring to the table as a personal brand? Not even the academic, because we're going to get to the academic. This is a personal brand. So my personal brand is based on dedication, versatility, professionalism. I bring together expertise in strategic planning, as you've seen with my bio at the beginning. So this is my personal brand: strategic planning, academic administration, event coordination, with experience that extends to other international contexts such as Doha, Qatar, because I've also worked in Doha, Qatar. So also that extends my personal brands to towards the international world, because now I've worked within a space where we are not within South Africa. So that also extends my brand. That makes my personal brand broader, dynamic, and adaptable professional who values integrity, innovation, and collaboration. So what defines me personally is my ability to connect with people, create meaningful opportunities, and contribute positively to both academic and professional environments. So as a person, just think, as you are in this workshop, just think, what are some of your personal brands? What is your personal brand as an individual? And does your personal brand really contribute? And does it really have some of those things that we mentioned, the skills, the values, the contribution, the creating, all those things? Is it purposeful? Is it intentional? Your personal brand. So moving on to an academic brand. So I've also labeled it to define what an academic brand is. And I've also put up my academic brand as an individual, or as an academic, or as an emerging academic. So an academic brand is the intentional and strategic development how academic is perceived based on their reputation, values, skills, unique story in the scholarly community it goes beyond just publishing research. So also an academic brand is not just about, so when you speak of academic brand, it's not just about you publishing, you're saying I've published 100 papers or I've published 20. It goes beyond that. It encompasses the public image, and academic maintains professionally, personally, helping them stand out, attract opportunities, and build collaboration, advance their careers. Because there's a lot of people within the academic space, very talented, published a lot of papers, but they do not stand out. When you speak of, you need to stand out. You need to build collaboration so that you advance your career. That's the only way you will make it within also the academic space. You need to stand out. You need to show that you have done this and this and this. Build collaboration. This brings it back to networking, because only this type of things, also building your public image, standing out, building collaboration. These are the main things that will advance your career going forward. So moving forward to my academic brand, as I have mentioned that I'm an emerging scholar in governance and public policy, currently contributing to postgraduate research excellence at the University of Johannesburg with a master's degree and honors in public management and governance. I'm building a strong foundation in research and scholarship. My interest focuses on good governance, economic development, economic growth, governance indicators, African diplomacy, and further. So as an academic, you must also, be in a position where you also want to explore others. So I wouldn't say that I'm just limiting myself to say I'm a governance person, I'm an economic development person, I'm a governance. Yes, my research interests are within that domain, but when there is room for collaboration, there is room for improvement, you can always engage with other fields, with other disciplines as well, linking it back to what you are doing as an academic. So I am committed mentorship, research integrity, producing knowledge that supports both institutional and societal development. So you also need to tell us what is your research interest, and does also your research goes beyond societal impact? Does it also impact the society? So this brings it back to the sustainable development goals. You can always link your research, because we've seen mostly in the current world, most of the research that is being done, you have to link at least one or two SDG goals within your research. So these are some of the things that you also need to think about. Does your research go beyond societal impact? Does it go beyond societal development as well? Because at the end of the day, you're not just doing research for yourself. You need to do it for the broader world, which is the society. Then moving forward to why online presence matter. Why does it matter? Before we delve into these strategies, it is important to understand why building an online presence matters for us as academics, so for us as individuals. It's not just about online, it's about increasing the impact of our work, because we need to increase the impact of our work. And increasing the impact is through visibility. We need to be seen, we need to be credible, we need to be successful. So a strong online presence is crucial, not only for businesses, but for us as individuals, because it significantly impacts our visibility, our credibility, and ultimately success. So that's why online presence matters, because we need to be visible, we need to be credible, we need to show that we are successful in one or two ways. So it also increases research visibility and citation. Firstly, having a strong online presence makes your work visible, as I've mentioned. So research is easily found on platforms such as Google Scholar. So if you ask yourself, are you available on Google Scholar? It's also found on ResearchGate. Are you available on ResearchGate, on institutional repositories? Excuse me for that. Repositories. So as a master's student, as a PhD student, once you publish or once you're done with your degree, your research is published within, or it is within the institutional repositories. So these are some of the things that you need to understand, that is your research really accessible? Is your research really visible? Are you online? Are you sharing? Are you interacting with your peers, with the students, with your lecturers, with the broader world, not just those people? Because you need to create to build that presence. You need to be out there. You need to be visibly direct to contribute to the academic influences of your work. So then we expand. So why online presence matters also? Because it expands the global reach and collaboration. So speaking of global reach and collaboration, an online presence expands your reach. Instead of only sharing your research at conferences or within your institution, you can connect with peers globally. As I've mentioned, a lot of people these days, they connect with peers globally online, they interact, even through gaming. People do connect with people beyond the world through gaming, that also creating a collaboration online, because you never know that person that you're gonna meet through playing online gaming or online whatever that you're gonna interact. You don't know what that person. It always gonna bring collaboration, because when you meet somebody, you don't know what they do until you ask them. So once you ask that person, what are they all about? What do they do? Then sometimes you even understand, or you even get to grow bigger collaboration with that person, but it only started through gaming. So these are some of the platforms as well that can grow your online presence beyond just the academic space. Through the online gaming, the online system, there's a lot of things that are happening. There is podcasts that are being launch. There's a lot of podcasts. So we need to also go out there, reach out, and also just ensure that you share, you interact with your peers. Then through that, you build an online presence, and also shapes your academic reputation. So your online presence helps shape how others perceive you as a scholar. So it basically shapes your academic reputation. And a well-maintained profile communicates professionalism, expertise, and credibility. So in many ways, it acts as your academic shop window. So when people come and they shop, just like how you go to the mall and, you're just looking in the stores and you see, you're like, oh, that's beautiful. Still some of the things people will just come and shop window in your platform online, and they'll see something that they like, or they'll see something that they want to collaborate on. And they will always contact you. That's why it's always important to share your contact details as well online, or to share within those online platforms, because you never know who's going to reach out for a collaboration in the future as well. So it also enhances your public engagement with research. So why having that presence? It enhances your public engagement with research. Being visible online allows you to engage beyond academia. So we need also to engage beyond academia. As I've mentioned in the beginning, we need to have a personal brand beyond academia. What is your personal brand? Ask yourself, what do I do beyond academics? What do I do beyond publishing? If I'm not publishing, do I have a skill? Do I have something that keeps me relevant besides my PhD, besides my master's? Is there something else that I can bring to the table? Because these are some of the things that we also need to enhance public engagement with research. So building on presence is not just about self-promotion. It's about ensuring that your work has influence, it has reach. So those are the most important information. You need to ensure that why you have that online presence, you need to ensure that your work has influence, it has reach and relevance in both academic and public spheres. So when you're speaking of academic, that's an academic space. Public spheres, that's beyond academics. So these are some of the important things that why we need to have that online presence. When you spoke of visibility, it expands beyond the global reach, academic reputation, and public engagement. So moving forward into the next slide about establishing a professional identity. Establishing a professional identity, it is important. But let's begin with the foundation of online presence, your professional identity. This is essential, how you present yourself to the academic world. It sets the tone, basically, of how others perceive your credibility and expertise. So establishing a professional identity is very, very important because it does set the tone of how people are going to perceive you or build that credibility and expertise. So we need to ensure that we have consistent profile across platforms. As I've mentioned in the beginning, we have the ORCID, we have the Google Scholars, we have the LinkedIn, we have the ResearchGate. Do you have a profile? Have you asked yourself, do you have a profile in some of those platforms? And is your profile up to date? And is your profile functioning? And are there citations? Have you put up some, even if you are just in engaging or you're just an imaging, you are just an imaging researcher. It's not that you all need to have work that is published, or you need to, you can put up your research expertise. Just they putting up your research expertise to say, okay, I'm an expertise in governance and this and this and this. Someone is going to reach out to you and say, okay, I've seen your profile and I've seen that you are a research expertise in 1, 2, 3. Do you want to collaborate on such and such? Do you want to collaborate? Do you want to write a paper? Do you want to do this? People will approach you. People will collaborate because you already have built that online presence. People will want to come. Start by ensuring that your profiles are consistent across platforms. You need to ensure that you have consistent profiles. Then this is the only way that people will want to engage with you. And also ensure that you have a professional photography, biography, and institutional affiliations as well. These are key elements of your digital identity. So it is important to not just have a profile photo, but a professional profile photo, because you're not gonna want to see a profile picture where somebody is holding a guitar, or they're not looking so professional. You People are just going to disregard that online platform, So you need to ensure that you have a professional picture, a short, professional, and clear bio as well. What are you all about? Your research expertise. What do you do? What are some of the things that you can bring? What are some of the skills? What are some of your values, your credibility? All these things are important, and affiliations to the institutions. You also need to put that up, because these are some of the ways that also your account can get verified. If you have your institutional affiliations, you can use your institutional emails. These are key elements of your digital identity going forward. So you also need to use a unified academic email where possible. So yesterday we spoke about using a professional email. So what we meant about having a professional email is, at least even if you don't have an email which says .co.za or UJ.co, you need to have an email at least with your name or surname, so that when somebody communicates with you, or they want to communicate with you, they will know I'm communicating with Lawrence, or I'm communicating with so and so, or I'm communicating with Gabriel. So it is very important to ensure that when you create an email, create a professional email, even if it's Lawrence@12 at Gmail, but you know that I'm communicating to Lawrence. So you also need to ensure that you, sometimes within your email, you can create a signature. After your email, you can create a signature and say, okay, this is Lawrence, master's in what. You put your qualification, your research expertise, or your research areas, so that at least when you send out an email, they know, okay, we have spoken to Lawrence, this is his email, and this is the email signature. So also you need to create an email signature that represents you as a person, represents you. You can put an email signature with your full names there, with your contact information in case someone wants to contact you, with your qualifications as well, because these are some of the ways that you stay relevant, because somebody will see, oh, this person has a master's in so. This person is a PhD in so. Okay, can I collaborate with such a person, then people will be able to come there and email you or speak to you, because now you have established that professional identity. So whenever possible, use that academic email address across your platform. This is not only to maintain consistency, but also enhance trust. And institutional emails carries more weight than a generic one. So as I'm saying that if your email has your name and surname, it enhances trust. People will trust you, will say, okay, this is actually, you know, uh, an authentic email. So they will be able to respond, because some of the people, they'll have an email with a funny name on it, or you can just say identity@gmail.com. Who is identity? Who are you? We need to know who you are as a person. That's what I'm saying. Even if your email is somehow, it includes numbers inside, but at least ensure that you at least have your name and surname, or at least create an email signature so that people will know who are they speaking to. So as I said, institutional emails carries more weight, obviously, because emails from the institutions are always going to be seen just by the generic email. It's just as you say, your name at uj.ac.za. People will automatically know that this person is affiliated with the University of Johannesburg. If it says ukzn.co.za, people will know that this person is affiliated with the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So these are some of the most important things that you need to include to ensure that you create that or establish that professional identity. So moving forward to engaging with the academic world, in short, establishing a professional identity is about consistency, credibility, and also clarity. So once you've laid out this foundation, now your next step is to showcase your engagement with the academic community. You need to engage with the academic community. Now that you have established a professional identity, now that you have a professional identity, how are you now going to engage with the broader academic community? So once your professional identity is established, the next step is engagement. You need to engage, share your research. It's all about meaningful interactions. We need to have meaningful interactions. Then, this is where you can join discussions on Twitter. There's, people, they come and they discuss issues, your political issues, your ongoing political issues. You go on those spaces, even if you are not there to discuss or to contribute, but you're also there to learn, to understand what are some of the issues that are burning, what are some of the issues that are actually going on within the academic space or within the broader global space or the global politics. So you need to participate in such conversation on those platforms, because through that you learn, you learn. This keeps you updated, on trends and positions, you as an active participant in your research community. So it's always important to join discussions, to go there and listen. Go on YouTube, listen to podcasts related to your research area, even if it's not related to your research area, if it's related to the global world or the global politics that happen. Go there, listen, understand what is happening. Because if people can want to engage in such, go there, listen, be interactive. Because also this builds your professional identity. Because when you go in those spaces where you meet academics and they start discussing such topics, you can also engage. Because you go into spaces where there's academics and they are communicating, or they are talking about the global world, or any other recent issues that are happening within the broader global world. You are now there, you're just standing, and you don't understand what is going on. So these are some of the things that you also need, because engaging, speaking to people get to understand what you're all about if you actually engage with the people. So you need to engage, be there, join these discussions, because this will only position you as an active person, as an active participant, because people will say, oh, no, but this person, man, he was talking facts. He knows what he's actually talking about, Then someone will say, oh, okay, let me take down your number. Also, this also brings it back to collaboration. Now you've networked and somebody has taken down your contact, and it only brings it back to networking, collaboration, being visible. So you need to join such discussions and also understand these things, because this only brings it back for you to being visible within the academic world. So also share your insights, not just publication. Don't limit yourself to online activities or to posting links, to your papers. Share short summaries, reflections, lessons learned or practical implications of your research. This makes your work more accessible and shows that the thinking behind your research, it shows the thinking behind the research, which then draws more engagement from peers, stakeholders, or any other people that would want to engage, or any other people that would want to collaborate with you. So if you share your thoughts, people will want to collaborate. Share them so that people can also draw engagement from them. They will engage, So in such spaces as Twitter, you share your thought, people will engage. People will engage. Now, from there, you have engagements. You are learning. You have different kind of voices, opinions. Then from there, you only engage. But I'm not. So you also just also need to engage. It's very important, nothing controversial, but just go there in these spaces, engage, get to understand what are some of the academics saying within the academic space as well. So contribute, to podcasts, webinars, or online panels, So you never know, the university always have, webinars. I know there's a podcast. At the library, there's always webinars. We at the Research Capacity Development, we always host workshops. There's always online panels. Engage, attend those online panels. Even if you don't have to, even if you're not the speaker or you are not engaging directly into that panel or webinar or podcast, I just go there, listen, understand what's being said. Then at the end of the day, you can also be able to ask questions and say, okay, how can I also be part of such and such webinar? How can I also be a panelist in such a seminar or in such a workshop? Then from there, you are only just building your online presence. You're only just building your own personal brand. You're only just building your own academic brand. So finally, we'll speak, comment, comment thoughtfully on peers' work. It's always important. Engagement also means interaction with others, your research, comments on publication. It offers constructive feedback, So when you engage, comment thoughtfully on peers' work, this builds a professional relationship and positions you as a collaborative and credible scholar. So it is only important to engage with the broader community, because through engaging, you're building that presence, and through building that online presence, you're also building a profile for yourself, because people will only want to engage, people will only want to collaborate with you further. So by actively engaging, and so finally we can say, by actively engaging in academic community, you don't just increase your visibility, you bring about, relationships, reputations, and influence. So it is important to always, engage with, the academic world, be visible, build your professional identity, and so on, because it is only important to only build a stronger online presence through, being visible through social media, through collaboration. And there's a lot of, these artificial intelligence tools that you can use these days to only get better, so it is important And also you need to ensure by building your online presence through all these things, you need to adapt. At the end of the day, you need to adapt, because through adaptation, you only get better. Because there's some people who are not really so engaging, they're not so, engaging when it comes to social media. But, at the end of the day, you need to try to adapt, to such situation, to bring in that visibility. And by bringing in that visibility, try also to be consistent, as I've mentioned, that through joining discussion, through sharing your insights, and also by contributing to podcasts and the broader world, and also by commenting thoughtfully on your peers' work. This only it needs you to be consistent, because through consistency, this is how you get noticed. You need to be noticed. We speak of, we can even speak of, we can give an example in football. If a player is consistent, or they consistently score goals throughout the season, everybody will know that player, because that player is being, is working hard and they're scoring goals. So people will be able to notice that person through them being consistent. And also through them being consistent, they are now being visible. We can be able to see them now, because now they become whoever that player or whatever. You become a global superstar, because now you become visible to the world. So, and it only brings in better collaboration. So once you're consistent, once you're visible, better teams will come as a player. So better collaborations will come once you have that strong online presence. So with that being said, thank you so much to all the listeners, and thank you so much to all the participants for lending me your ear today to engage in such a very important topic on building a strong online presence. So from here, I will now be handing over to Dr. Gabriel to take us through the the networking and collaboration further from now this presentation. So in that regard, thank you so much to you, to all the participants for listening to me. And I hope you have taken a thing or two there on how to actually build your own strong online presence, whether it is a personal brand, whether it is in academic world. And I really, really appreciate your presence in this such an insightful session. Thank you. Handing over to you, Dr. Gabriel.
Lawrence, thank you so much for a well-rounded presentation. I think, if I've been listening to you since the beginning of the presentation up to this point in time, it just reminded me that this is sort of an extension of the workshop that we held yesterday, where we talk about, sort of, building or creating your own personal website or portfolio. So this is sort of an extension of that. Well, even websites as well are a part of and parcel of online presence as well. So I'm now taking over from here, moving into the section 1.8, where we will be now talking about networking and and collaboration. But before I continue, let me just ask from the participants, just by show of virtual thumb, if you can hear me well, and if you can also see these slides that I'm now going to be sharing with you. So just let me know that you can see these slides that I've shared with you. And you can hear me well, just by an indication of virtual thumb.
Yes, perfectly. You can see the slides, Doc. You can continue.
All right. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you also from those participants who have expressed that they can see the slides where they can hear me well. So now, in terms of networking and collaboration, you can realize that for you to build a meaningful professional relationships, that actually helps you to exchange ideas, to create opportunities, and enhance the reach of your research. And these are just some of the ways, or some of the important elements that you have to consider as an academic, or as a researcher, be it an upcoming researcher, or be it a researcher who has been sort of a seasoned researcher who has been doing this for quite long. It's still important that you must connect globally, so it's important that you leverage on online platforms to connect with peers, with potential collaborators and policymakers around the world. It's not only connecting with our peers as well, but even from those who are in other disciplines. So a multidisciplinary kind of network is actually something that is highly welcomed. And you can see that if you build such connections, they in time lead to joint research projects, co-authored publications, invitations to contribute to policy discussions. In other words, what I'm saying is that if you have global connections, you can actually broaden your perspective and increase your influence beyond the institution that you are affiliated with. So if you are only from the University of Johannesburg, then you can also build both the national, regional, or international networks, so that you can broaden your perspective and increase your influence beyond your institution. So it's also important that you make use of professional groups. So you can participate in LinkedIn groups, for example, discipline-specific forums, professional associations, anything that you will be, such kind of groupings that usually take place in online spaces. So by engaging in these spaces, you are also able to take part in focused discussions, ask questions, share resources, and stay informed about new trends and opportunities in your specific field. So it's also important that you also seek virtual conferences or online workshops. It's important to attend, because I've seen sort of an inclination towards people just feeling it to be more pleasant if they attend physical conferences or physical seminars and so on. But you can attend online, in form of webinars. You can attend virtual conferences. You can also attend online workshops the same way that you are participating in this workshop. So even if travel is not possible, these kind of events, they provide an excellent opportunity to meet other researchers or learn about ongoing projects, within your field, and for you to be able to present your work as well. And in most cases, they often include networking sessions as well, specifically designed for making new contacts. So I've seen over time that you can actually build networks from virtual those events that happens on virtual platforms. Then it's also important that you build interdisciplinary connections. Like I've said, that you don't just connect only with peers within your field, but you can also connect with peers in other fields. So you don't have to limit yourself to your own specific discipline, in other words. But if you connect with researchers from other fields, you can actually inspire innovative approaches within the research that you are doing. And also, it's important that you foster interdisciplinary collaborations, and in a way such can help you to address complex problems from multiple perspectives. I've seen, even during the course of my own research, borrowing maybe certain theories from other fields and be able to apply them within the context of the work that I'm doing. So you can collaborate, with others from other disciplines, so that it actually, lead to some form of a hybrid research that address, any complex problems or issues from multiple or multidimensional perspectives. So networking and collaboration, it's actually about creating meaningful relationships that, in a way, amplify the research impact of the research that you are doing, or the projects that you are doing. But once you have established connection, then you have to be able to maintain credibility, also professionalism across all your online presence, and that include ensuring that all interactions, they reinforce your academic reputation. So even if you are to post on LinkedIn, to post on social platforms, you also have to be mindful of your reputation, because also what we post can destroy our reputation, and in a way, either directly or indirectly impact on our career progression as well. Then, in terms of credibility and professionalism, you can see that after you establish your identity, engaging with the community and networking, it's very important that you maintain credibility and professionalism. And these are just some of the points that you have to take into consideration, as you are doing that. And it's important that you balance accessibility with academic rigor. So we are talking about the issue of conciseness. We are talking about the issue of accuracy. In terms of research, the quality of the research that you are doing. So it's important that you make your research, to be comprehensible or understandable to a wider audience without compromising the accuracy or depth of your work. So to do this, you can use clear language, you can use summaries or visual aids for broader audiences, while you retain the rigor and expected that is expected in academia. So it's also important to avoid unverified claims or oversimplifications. So you have to remember, academic, research, academic, most of the academic endeavors or research in any form, it has to be formal and based on evidence. Unlike journalism, we as researchers, we do not, hide our sources, but we reveal our sources, and everything that we write, it must be based on evidence. It must be supported by evidence. So you cannot just make any claims that are sort of unverified, or you simplify certain issues. So always ensure that the information that you share is evidence based. You avoid exaggerating findings or simplifying complex concepts, as this can also damage your credibility and mislead others. So other people have seen researches where they undertake research, maybe possibly in one part of Soweto, but then when they are now reporting the results, they report them as if they represent the whole population in South Africa, or they represent the across the whole global community. That is wrong. So is the issue of also sometimes informally they call it okay, I label it as massaging the data. Like when you try to make the data to give you the results that you want, or sometimes even because what is expected, then you have to change possibly a variable where a relationship is insignificant, then you make it significant because you change the p-value so that you can maybe possibly reject the null hypothesis. So that is not a sort of ethical practices that one should engage in. Then so it's important that you do not have to mislead others. Then you also have to present yourself as approachable, but in the same time being credible. So you engage in conversations politely and professionally. Being approachable actually encourages collaboration and discussion. So when you go to these events, or even when you participate in online events. So be a person that is always, you must be polite and behave, conduct yourself professionally, be approachable, but always maintain a tone that reflects your expertise and reliability. Right? And it's important also to be mindful of digital footprint. So everything you post, it contributes to your digital footprint. I've briefly addressed this. So you have to check everything for accuracy, cite sources, and maintain a professional tone. You must remember that online content is often permanent and can be reviewed by colleagues, collaborations, and other institutions. So what you post, you have to be very, very mindful of your digital footprint. And if you consistently balance professionalism with accessibility, then in that manner you can strengthen your academic brand and also ensure that your online presence enhances rather than risks your reputation as an academic, or as an upcoming researcher, or as an aspiring academic or researcher. So with credibility established, then your online presence, it can now fully support research visibility, collaborations, and also public engagement. So these are just some tips that we can offer you for continuous learning. So like we have already alluded to, building a strong online presence. It's not just about setting up profiles, but it's about staying informed, engaged, and continuously growing as a researcher. And just some practical tips that can keep learning, and that you can keep learning and expand your academic influence. So you can follow key academic influencers. Remember, there are some other gurus who have been in the field for a long time. Those seasoned researchers with sort of a verifiable and a reputable sort of a research footprint. Then you can follow those ones. Follow them, identify and follow all the respected scholars, thought leaders, research groups in your field on platforms like Twitter. We are now calling it X. Formerly Twitter, or on LinkedIn. You must observe their posts, discussions, and shared resources that can keep you updated on emerging trends, debates, and also opportunities. It also gives you inspiration for your own content and engagement. So remember, this must inspire you. Don't be the one who is just following, that one who just follow and take what others have maybe possibly suggested any action on that. But be inspired with the conversation, be inspired with the debate, with the discourse, then be able to sort of create or conceptualize your own content and engagement. Then it's important to attend webinars, virtual conferences, and online workshops. You can see that many professional associations and universities, they host webinars. We are also doing the same as the Research Capacity Development Unit. And there's also virtual conferences and online workshops. So such events, they allow you to learn about the latest research as well, and hear from experts, and network with peers globally as well. So they are sort of a very, they offer a very important opportunity for you to present your work and also receive feedback on that. That is the when you go to a conference, you can, before you even start, you can even start by telling them that the purpose of why you are there, or the purpose of why you are taking part in the present, is for you to get feedback on certain maybe it could be sections of your research. Be it maybe you are particularly interested in assistance with regarding to the research method. Then you tell them, you tell the audience that I'm looking for assistance, within this part, so that they are also attentive and will be able to offer contributions that will enhance the quality of the study that you'll be doing. So it's also important to subscribe to newsletters from professional associations, and it's also a facet of most academic societies and research groups of they have a culture of sending newsletters containing conference announcements, calls for papers, funding opportunities, and latest publications as well, where you can look if you refer to latest publications, you can see the recommendations that are made for future research at the end. Then some of them can inspire your conceptualization of other similarly or related topics that build on to the recommendations that would have been given in other publications. So you can also see funding opportunities there. And if you subscribe to that, that will actually ensure that you do not miss key opportunities, and it will help you to stay connected with your disciplines community. So, in other words, I'm saying if you actively follow influencers, for those who are seasoned, within your field in terms of research and academics in particular, you and as well as if you participate in events, if you subscribe to relevant updates, you cultivate a habit of continuous learning. So that is not only that does not only strengthen your expertise, but it will also ensure that your online presence remains current, authoritative, and also valuable to your academic community. You are not researching for yourself. You must remember that. And you cannot just do all the work in the field in isolation. So you also need others. So it's important for you to make strides towards such engagements. So these are just some resources that Mr. Hassan and myself are sharing with you. So in terms of researcher profiles and citation tools, you can have okay, that is the ORCID. You can create your unique research ID to ensure consistent attribution across publications. There's also Google Scholar, where you can track citations, you can monitor research impact, and maintain a public profile. We talked about Google Scholar yesterday. I even showed my profile. We also talked about ORCID. Then we have the ResearchGate as well, where you can share publications, ask questions, and connect with other researchers. Then for academic networking and collaboration platforms, LinkedIn, academia.edge. Then even ResearchGate, you can do collaborations as well on ResearchGate. So so for LinkedIn, that's for professional networking, academic connections, and collaboration opportunities. And for academia.edge, you can showcase your research, you can follow scholars and discover related publications in your discipline. Then dissemination and public engagement tools. You can use blogging platforms, like Medium, WordPress, for instance, where you can share research insights and engage broader audiences. Then podcasts and webinars. Mr. Hassan have shared, with you on that. You have to participate or host the discussions to increase visibility and public engagement. So if you utilize these resources, they will help you create, manage, and strengthen your online presence. Right. So you can start with a clear professional profile, then you can expand into networking, engagement, and tracking your research impact. You have to try to use all platforms at once. So you can choose 2 to 3 that align best with your goals and grow your presence consistently and gradually. So it is a gradual process. It's not something that you just have to put all the eggs in one plate at once. So you have to do it gradually. So you can start, maybe choose 2 or 3 that aligns with your goals. Then you can maybe that will be a springboard for you to widen that as you progress and see the impact of the 2 or 3 that would have chosen. You must also remember online visibility is ongoing, so you can always refine profiles, share insights, and expand collaborations over time. So if you pay attention to professionalism, accuracy, and ethics as you engage online, this will protect your reputation and enhance the credibility of the research that you'll be doing yourself, and your online presence, or your online or your digital footprint. So these are just some concluding remarks from us. So you can see that from all the conversations that I've had with you, that Mr. Asani have had with you, the points that we are leaving with you is that online presence it will result in visibility, impact, and credibility of your research. So if you have a strong online presence, that will increase the visibility of your work, expands the impact of your research, and strengthens your credibility among your peers and the wide academic community. And when you are visible, that will allow your research to reach the right audience. Impact impact ensures that it influences policy or practice, and credibility builds your professional reputation. That is for yourself as the researcher. Then it's important to have consistency across platforms that builds trust. So if you maintain a consistent profile across ORCID, Google Scholar, LinkedIn, and other platforms, that will make it easier for peers, collaborators, and institutions to recognize and trust your work that you'll be doing. So in other words, your professional identity should be coherent in terms of the biography, photo, affiliations, and research focus. So these are some of the aspects that Mr. Hassan touched in detail. Then engagement fosters collaboration and recognition. So by actively participating in discussion, sharing insights, and commenting thoughtfully on others, that will help you to form connections, and also encourage collaboration and increase recognition within your academic community, and also the interdisciplinary kind of. So it's important that you engage in kinds of engagement that signal that you are approachable, you are knowledgeable, and committed to contributing to your field, and even beyond. And strong digital identity strengthens your academic career trajectory. So in other words, a carefully managed online presence, it will support your career development. So it can also lead to invitations for collaborations, speaking opportunities, policy engagement, and assist you to establish yourself as a thought leader or an expert in your research area. So if you integrate, visibility, consistency, engagement, credibility onto your online presence, you are actually creating a strong digital identity that not only showcase your research, but also opens the doors to new opportunities. And so the effort, always know that the effort that you invest today in building your online presence, it will pay the dividends throughout your academic career. So this is sort of an important exercise that as researchers we must be taking advantage of, or we must be engaging in. So these are just some courses that we can leave with you, that we just generated from the conversation, from this whole presentation. Your research deserves to be seen, your voice deserves to be heard. Build your presence, expand your impact, engage with purpose, connect with peers, and let your online presence reflect the scholar you aspire to be. And a strong digital identity does not just showcase your work, it opens doors to collaboration, recognition, and growth. And with this, I'm now ushering you into the open discussion segment and inviting Mr. Asani to join me as we answer the questions that we are going to be asking, and also as we listen to the the comments, feedback, experiences that you are going also to offer to the conversation, to contribute to the conversation that we had with you. I thank you, and I open the floor for questions and for an open discussion. We'll start by checking on the chat platform if there are any questions that are there.
There isn't any questions here. Thank you so much, Dr. Gabriel, for that presentation as well. Just very insightful as well. Thank you so much. I don't see any questions on the chat box.
Let's permit the mics. Did you already permit all the mics?
Yes, I've allowed the mics as well. The participants, yeah.
So the participants, you can just raise your virtual hand. We acknowledge you. Then you can ask your question or make your contribution. Thank you. Or alternatively, just type in the chat box. Then we can address the question.
Yes, definitely your experiences as well of how you've been trying to create any online presence as well through social media or any other platforms as well. You can just share with us as well. That will be quite important just to know how you've been navigating this platforms as well.
Participants, you can. It's an opportunity for you to ask if you have any question. Mr. Hassan, I don't see any hand that is up, and I also don't see any questions in the chat box. And I think with that, it might be a signal that the conversation was understandable, was very comprehensible. And with that, I want to thank you for agreeing to take part, in collaboration, in facilitating the workshop for today, and also thanking the participants for joining us, for this important session. Then I would also just want to, before I close the session, to remind you, that we launched the Research Capacity Development Management System, and we ask you to join, to register on the system, because we'll be fully migrating to the system. And for you to continue to access our services and offerings, you have to be registered on the system. You can access it through ULink under the Services tab, or you can just go to rcdms.uj.ac.za. And if you have any inquiries, you can contact us on rcdinquiries@uj.ac.za. And I want to remind you that I've also posted the feedback survey. It's there in the chat box for your access. Please complete it, because this is where we harvest the information, your correct details that we use to generate a certificate of attendance for this workshop. And with that, I'm handing over to Mr. Lawrence Asani for his concluding remarks, and then we move on to closing the session.
Now, with that being said, I think you've touched on everything that I would have said there, Dr. Gabriel. But I just want to thank the participants today for obviously taking their time to join us for this session. Very insightful. We really, really appreciate your presence, and to, just to come to listen to a thing or two on how you can also build your online presence. I think with that being said, I think that's it basically from my side, Dr. Gabriel. Thank you so much to all the participants, and enjoy the rest of your day further. And thank you so much for the continued support. And I just wanted to mention that we also have another workshop, I think in the afternoon. Yeah, I think we have another workshop in the afternoon. Maybe Dr. Gabriel, I don't know what the topic is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually a very sort of an important session, where we are going to be looking at at organizing and interpreting findings in the social sciences. Organizing and interpreting findings in the social sciences. So that will be a very engaging session for those who are in the social sciences. So we look forward to be hosting you, and for you to be part of that session that will begin at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and ending at 3 o'clock in the same afternoon. Thank you. And
Yes.
with that, I wish
think I've
you.
also shared the link for that workshop for the afternoon
Yeah,
session. Yeah, I've
I
also
think.
shared it in the
Okay.
chat box here. I've also shared it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Lawrence, for that. So the link has been shared for your access there in the chat box. So kindly register to attend this workshop as well if you are from the social sciences. And with this, I'm now stopping the recording and ending this session. And I wish you a great day further. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.